EGI Conference 2016 in Amsterdam, and we're talking with Tiziana Ferrari, who gave a keynote presentation about the state of EGI today. So welcome.
It's also an opportunity to assess the status of EGI after about a year from the start of EGI Engage, which is the EGI flagship project supported by the European Commission. So it's a very good and timely opportunity to assess how well we are doing and how our services are being developed to support new user communities. EGI today accounts for 650,000 CPU cores, which are federated across a worldwide network of infrastructures for research. We have a stable cloud infrastructure with 22 cloud providers across Europe, of which one is a commercial provider. We are very satisfied with the performance in 2015. There's been an increase of about plus 24% in usage of the services and a major increase in the user community. Today we account for about 230 active research projects which are using EGI services, which is about 41,000 active users. This is a very important result for EGI. EGI is more and more user-driven. We have a very strong network of competence centers serving international user communities and research infrastructures which are on the S3 roadmap, which are enabling mechanisms to allow technology providers, expert users from the research infrastructures and the service providers to work together in developing the service portfolio. We are now moving on, thanks to this structure, in increasing the EGI service portfolio by having thematic services which are provided by third parties, primarily virtual research environment operators and user communities who provide added value services on top of the baseline infrastructure commons. We see these partnerships as fundamental to develop more and more services which are easy to use, familiar to the user communities, and providing the specific tools and the capabilities that the user needs in order to have access to compute and storage, which are the main assets of EGI. So if I can just frame the success of EGI in the last year, for me the greatest result is having an increasing user community base and more international collaborations that we are supporting. I will mention the competence centers and S3, but I would also like to mention support to astronomy as an international user community, which is very much data-driven and has an interest in sharing open data across different regions of the world. I would like to mention Human Brain, and specifically neuroinformatics scientific pillar 5, actively helping out with cloud services to host their visualization services on top of EGI, of the EGI Federation, and also commercial collaboration. So we have more and more platform operators who are commercial. I would like to mention here Terra2, who is the operator of one of the thematic exploitation platform of ESA. And these organizations are essentially demonstrating how research services, which were originated by research communities for research communities, can in fact become useful also for industry and for the commercial exploitation of research data and commercial data.
Yesterday there was a very interesting discussion about the Catalogue of Services, where a number of European projects, so EGI, EUDAT, GEON, were sitting together and defining how to set up a catalogue of services for the European researchers so that they know where they can find things. I thought that was a very interesting development. So what's your opinion about that?
It's a useful initiative because currently most of the European infrastructures are working in silos, having essentially dedicated customer relationships with their specific user groups, meaning that their services are normally promoted and made visible to specific research groups in Europe, but not as an integrated set of capabilities that the users can discover and possibly also combine together. So having a joint catalog and an agreement on how the services can be organized, described through ontologies in a joint service catalog is essentially instrumental to develop cooperation and jointly organize the service delivery across the infrastructures and also in the future research infrastructures. So this is a very important initiative and essentially the first milestone to increase our collaboration as a service providers.
From a technical point of view, EGI is working on or having a federated cloud, and at several presentations you did see that also for researchers things like Docker containers are becoming more important, which of course they already are in industry. So what's your ideas about that?
They are an enabler, and EGI developed the cloud infrastructure so that the containers can be deployed in the form of virtual machines in the infrastructure, and also mechanisms for brokering and organizing workflows of containers are possible in the federated cloud. So this is an enhancing capability which sits on top of the federated model of EGI, primarily based on adoption of open standards.
An overarching topic you could say is the open science cloud, and also EGI is very prominent in there.
So EGI has a lot of experience as a federator. So we in fact work within Europe, but also beyond with other regions, with a network of 325 different computing centers and data centers worldwide. So the interest of EGI is in bringing the best practices and the operating model that allow us today to work in an international landscape. So this is a contribution that EGI is willing to bring into this European initiative. Besides this experience in 15 years of operations in providing services as a common, this meaning having an open infrastructure which any service provider can join if some basic service policies and processes are accepted to allow the integrated delivery of services. So we want also to bring our experience as open infrastructure into the open science cloud, which is open and for open science by definition. Of course, there is also a lot of user-driven input here in developing this initiative. And EGI has been working in organizing together with other infrastructures and research infrastructures 3 workshops dedicated to Open Science Cloud. And for us, the main interest or role of EGI was to bring the user communities and listen to them to understand how we can improve and do better and better. So this user-driven approach to the Open Science Cloud is paramount. What EGI can help is to also bring the long tail of science, international communities that are not organized as research infrastructure and don't have a legal entity, so are very dispersed and very difficult to engage with. And this is also a contribution that EGI has been providing in the development of these initiatives so far.
Thank you very much for this interview. For Premium Magazine, this was Alternative.